Well, hi everyone. All right, so we are multiplying radical binomials. This is the topic for the day. Short and sweet. This is the Flex Day assignment, and for 4/30/2021, and we're basically just going to use FOIL and remember some of the things we know about multiplying radicals. And this first one, I'm going to simplify 4 radical 3 plus 5 radical 2 times 3 radical 2 minus 6. And it's the binomial. I got two terms here and I got two terms here. There's no variables involved, but we're going to use the same techniques we did when we had variables there. So we take the first, and that is 4 radical 3 times 3 radical 2. I'm going to write it out just for this first example. Just write everything out. That's first. Now the outside, that is, and it's a positive times a negative, so it's negative 4 radical 3 times 6. Inside, that's a positive times a positive, so that's plus 5 radical 2 times 3 radical 2. And then last, that's a positive times a negative. So I'm going to write minus 5 radical 2 times 6. Okay. I am going to now do the multiplying. You multiply the 4 and the 3 together. That's 12. The square root of 3 times square root of 2, that's square root of 6. So multiply the number on the outside of the radicals together and multiply the numbers on the inside of the radicals together and keep that under the radical. Okay, and then 4 radical 3 times 6. The 4 times the 6, that can be multiplied. That's 24 radical 3. And then I have 5 times 3. That is 15 times square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. I'm going to change that to 30 in my next step here. And then 5 radical 2 times 6. That's minus 5 times 6. That's 30 radical 2. Let's take a look at what we have here. I got 12 radical 6 minus 24 radical 3 plus 30 minus 30 radical 2. Now the only thing I would look for in this is if I had the same radical or constants that I could put together. This is square root of 6. There's no other square root of 6. This is square root of 3. That's the only square root of 3. This is the only square root of 2. So I'm going to call this my final answer. We can't simplify that anymore. All right, now the second example. I'm going to try to do this example without writing all this out on this one. See if you get this part. I want to try to go straight to that part here. So 7 radical 2 times 7 radical 2, that is 7 times 7 is 49. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. That's the first. I'm going to change colors here, be fancy. And then outside, 7 radical 2 times 3 radical 3. 7 times 3, that's going to be positive. 21, and square root of 2 times square root of 3 is 6. Do purple here. Negative 3 radical 3, this is the inside part, times 7 radical 2 is negative 21. Square root of 3 times square root of 2 is square root of 6. And then, let's see, time for orange. Last, 3 radical 3, negative 3 radical 3 times 3 radical 3. Now it's negative 3 times positive 3, which is negative 9. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. All right, this looks interesting. So 49 times 2 is 98. 21 radical 6 minus 21 radical 6 cancels out. And 9 times 3 is 27. And 98 minus 27, that looks like 71 to me for my final answer. Notice we dealt with this a little bit when we were rationalizing denominators. You have the minus here and the plus here. Those two are conjugates, and we lost our radical with that. Okay. You do number 3 and do number 4. Get those answered in your notes, and then you're done. Okay, so just finish 3 and 4. I'll be looking for those on Monday. If you are if you are remote, you can email this work for me on Monday. Now, if you missed Thursday, I'm just going to do a couple of examples. Okay, first of all, if you were here Thursday and you did all the work we did on Thursday, you finish these two, you're done. You don't have to watch the rest of the video. This is for the people who missed Thursday, just to give them some notes on the work we were doing. We were rationalizing denominators with expressions like this. And the one thing we do is we use the conjugate, which we kind of saw in one of our examples there. I am going to use the conjugate of the denominator. That's the square root of 2 minus 3. When I do it to the bottom, I got to do it to the top. I'm going to put everything in parentheses here. And then I'm just going to start multiplying. The numerator, I'm going to just use the distributive property, and that is 5 radical 2 minus 15. In the denominator, I'm going to FOIL. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. Square root of 2 times negative 3 is negative 3 radical 2. 3 times positive square root of 2 is positive 3 radical 2. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So I've got 5 radical 2 minus 15 over, these guys are canceling, 2 minus 9 is negative 7. And then I'm going to write 5 radical 2 over negative 7 minus 15 over negative 7. I'm going to move that negative up there. So I got negative 5 radical 2 over 7, and a negative negative, that's positive 15 over 7. Okay, one more example, and then you've finished all that first part, and we'll call it a day. I'm going to use the conjugate, and that's the square root of 2 plus 3. I just changed the minus to plus. And if it's a plus, I change the plus to minus. And you multiply both sides, and you're going to rationalize the denominator. In other words, you're not going to have, if we did it right, we're not going to have a radical, a square root in the denominator. So I'm going to FOIL up here. 4 times radical 2 is 4 radical 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Inside, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. And last, square root of 2 times 3, I'll write 3 radical 2. On the denominator, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. Outside, that is positive 3 radical 2. Inside, that's negative 3 radical 2. And last, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. 4 radical 2 plus 3 radical 2. Simplify the numerator. That's 7 radical 2. Those are like terms. 12 plus 2 is 14. 3 radical 2 and negative 3 radical 2 cancel out. 2 minus 9 is negative 7. So 7 radical 2 over negative 7 plus 14 over negative 7. The 7 and negative 7 cancel out. That's negative radical 2. 14 divided by negative 7 is negative 2. All right, there you are. That catches you up to the kind of work we did on Thursday. So you have them there for your notes. All right, you take care now.